it downfield. It is. Oh, it's caught. John Moran in the clutch. Oh, my word. Oh, my God. Deep to right field. Way up there. And way down the sideline. Jefferson. Another huge run. Jalen Red broke tackle. Stayed on his feet.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Blake's Take. And Dennis Schroder, prior to this year's trade deadline, was looking to be a future franchise point guard of the Los Angeles Lakers. An efficient scorer with distributor and a high basketball IQ, Schroder was really filling up those shoes that were left behind in their bubble championship point guard, Rajon Rondo. This prompted the organization to offer him the most money he had ever seen in his career, with a generous 4-year, $84 million extension with the franchise. Surprisingly, Schroder turned down the offer and decided to bet on himself to see what he could get in free agency this summer. That obviously turned out to be a very bad decision. He got injured towards the end of the regular season and played awfully in the opening round of the playoffs against the Phoenix Suns, as we all saw. After that underwhelming performance in the second half of the regular seasons and the playoffs, Lakers' all-time great and former president of basketball operations, Magic Johnson, stated, "Schroder, I don't think he's a Laker." That's just my opinion. I don't know if they're going to sign him back or not. I don't think he brings the winning mentality and attitude that we need, and he had a chance to show that in this series. And to me, he failed in this series. But again, if he comes back as a Laker, I'm going to support him. I'm going to cheer for him and all that. But I just don't think he's a Laker. After being up 2-1 on the Suns, Schroder decimated 3 of 13 from the field in Game 4 against the Suns, 0 for 9 in Game 5, and 6 of 14 in Game 6. The Lakers lost all 3 of those games, and Schroder was unable to consistently help make up for the lost production of one injured Anthony Davis. He also averaged 15.4 points per game on 43.7% shooting from the field and 33.5% shooting from deep during the regular season, after averaging 18.9 points per game, 46.9% shooting from the field, and 38.5% from deep in 2019 and 2020 with OKC, so his regular season numbers decimated as well. With all of this taken into account, the Lakers sided with Johnson's belief and did not re-sign him, leaving Schroder out on a limb, searching for another team in free agency that would offer him more than 4 years for $84 million. Yeah, good luck with that. Obviously, you missed your window for opportunity, and he took his chances on his free agency stock. Schroder and his agent searched and negotiated, but there was no team willing to give him that same kind of money after the performance they saw from him and the pressure of the playoffs. Schroder ultimately had to settle for an amusing 1-year, $5.9 million contract with the Boston Celtics. Him choosing to not sign with this Lakers at the trade deadline will lose him now $15.1 million this upcoming year. That's a lot of dough down the drain just for his arrogance to basically bet on himself he could have been a Los Angeles Laker, winning market, big market, 4 years, $84 million, most money he'd seen in his career. But now he'll have to double down and make some necessary improvements in his game in order to get that money back. He had the money right there, and he didn't have to prove anything more. Even if he would have been bad, he was still under that contract. But now with the Celtics, he is going to have to really step up if he wants to get his free agency stock anywhere near where it was during the middle of last season into trying to get it back in 2022. I don't know if Dennis Schroder will ever see that kind of money again in his career. Big mistake. But with the Celtics, this looks looking to be they're looking for a head for the future. It's just a short-term partnership with both sides to help each other after the Celtics had to get a pickup at the point guard position, a motivated, promising talent for a cheap that will help fill the depth at the point guard position after the loss of Kemba Walker to the Knicks this offseason. Schroder alongside Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown would be yet another scary trio in the East to coincide with the Bulls. The Bucks reigning champion, yes, they're not they got the big three 3 with Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis. They got the Bucks, the Knicks. Now with RJ Barrett and Julius Randle and all Kemba Walker and them. Then you got the Heat, the Bulls, lots of teams in the East, and then of course Brooklyn, of course. And so he'll get the chance to play in a big market yet again, team up with two of the best young wings in the league and compete in this postseason. Since the Celtics are going to need his scoring and facilitating to complement Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, two of the best wings in the game, he'll have a chance to put up some of those numbers that he'll need to get up. If he plays well for the Celtics and helps them bounce back from a disappointing season, he could possibly make some of that money back he lost with a bigger offer in 2022, but I surely doubt it. Free agency would not go well this offseason for Schroder. He might not be ever to be that high caliber player ever again to get an $84 million contract. I can't believe he turned that down. He's going to regret that for the rest of his life. But I do hope he bounces back. But to be honest, he taught all of the listeners right now, if you're listening right now, the importance of not getting too greedy. When you get too greedy, your risk to reward ratio is altered and skewed massively. Schroder took a big risk, which ultimately resulted in him not receiving the reward he was planning on. Maybe someday, but boy oh boy, my man done did himself dirty. Oh, so dirty. How do you turn that much money? Did you really believe you were capable of receiving more than that? Goodness, Dennis Schroder. Big mess up. We'll see how you do with the Celtics. Maybe you can help lead them to yet another Eastern Conference Finals, but we'll see how that goes for you. It's a competitive East, and you messed up, my man. But $5.9 million this year, you can take your bag and swallow that $15 million loss pill. We'll see how it goes for Dennis Schroder, but the Los Angeles Lakers got better without him. They got better talent. They got Russell Westbrook now, so no need for Dennis Schroder anymore. So very much a lose-lose situation for Dennis Schroder, and win-win for the Los Angeles Lakers. Hope y'all enjoyed all that little take on Dennis Schroder and his contract and just the life lesson of not getting too greedy and hyped up about yourself. When you see good money and money you haven't seen in your career, definitely just take it and take the safe bet on that, and don't try and ask for more, because that's when you get in trouble. Hope you all enjoyed. You can catch all this and more content on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and or YouTube, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day.